Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. I'm recording this on December 29, 2024, and I'm starting to get anxious about something. I teach at two different community colleges. One is in Glendale, Arizona, and the other is in Apache Junction. I'll let you map that out on Google Maps. I actually haven't decided where I'm going to live next semester. And but wherever I live, uh, I'm going to have a long commute on at least half of my days in uh, in the Phoenix area, and I've been kind of nervous about that. And on as if that's not bad enough, I want you guys to pray hard. The campus in Apache Junction sucks. And I've been praying, hoping and praying that something happens to it to cause them to have to rebuild the campus. So, one thing I thought about is that they have a chemistry lab, or multiple chemistry labs in that building. I'm hoping that somebody will work with chemistry and accidentally spill mercury or polonium 210 or some other thing that's going to require the building to get gutted, right? Mercury immediately comes to mind. It gets into all the cracks and crevices of buildings, and I've seen the results of what happens when mercury is spilled. We all know that when the Russian spy was poisoned by polonium 210, it badly contaminated the hotel. A lot of times you just have to wait it out for it to decay. And the problem is that polonium has this interesting property. It heats itself up, it has a low melting point, and it heats itself up to melt. And also, polonium is one of the few elements that expands when it freezes. So you have this literally this blob that jumps around from out of containers and all that. And so the hotel involved had to literally be quarantined until all of that polonium decayed. And which would mean that we probably have to teach out of a different campus, hopefully with better facilities. Now, what's the problem with the facilities at the campus? Well, they don't have a kitchenette with a sink. And you might not think that's a big deal, but as somebody who is, I have eating disorders, any barrier for me to get to my food really aggravates the problem. It discourages me from even wanting to think about eating. And as you guys see, last semester I lost a bunch of weight in large part because of that. And even my mom was commenting, she needs to lose weight. I don't. And she was envious of me, and for no good reason. I told her it's not something to be proud of. And a lot of times I have to go into the bathroom sink. It's disgusting. And I also the sinks are motion sensor. They only put out a dribble. To give you an idea of how bad the sink sucks, one time I have food allergies. Somebody had splashed some food on me. And it might not have been something that I might react to, but it's a very terrifying thought to get an unknown substance on your skin when you have allergies like that. So I raced to the bathroom, and I couldn't get the motion sensors to go on. I desperately needed to wash whatever was on my hand, and so I literally dunked my hand in the toilet just to get it off. And then I washed my hands at a more leisurely pace in the sink. But that goes to show some of the, and not to mention here in Phoenix, a lot of times it gets to be 110, 115 degrees. You don't want to be taking your Tupperware containers into the car where they're going to stink up your car. And be nice if somebody has caused the building to have to be evacuated or quarantined at some point. Right, so a chemistry spill immediately comes to mind. The other problem is that our cell phone signals really suck in the campus. Can't really get a cell phone signal in the adjunct office that I share with other people. One day I was in the middle of a job interview, actually for Glendale College. I was waiting for a call back, and so I left the cell phone outside of the office so that it would ring. And I went back into the office to work on some slides on my computer for the class. The phone rang and I ran out to get it. Sure enough, it was the recruiter with good news. But the recruiter, he wanted to see a paper that I had authored a few years ago. And so I ran back into the office to get my computer, but I forgot I couldn't bring my cell phone in there. I took the cell phone with me, ran into the computer to look for the paper. Uh-oh. the phone disconnected, and I had to call back to apologize to the recruiter. To give you an idea of how frustrating the cell phone signal is, one day I went to my new girlfriend's home, and just as we were about to go into the home, I instinctively wanted to charge my phone outside of. She lives in an apartment building. I instinctively wanted to plug my phone just outside of her unit, and like I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. You guys actually have a cell phone signal inside. And she says, what are you talking about? I said, I work in a building that has really terrible cell phone signal. I got so used to having to leave my phone outside. And she got really upset for me because of that. And none of these things, even the fact that I had to wash my hands in the toilet, none of these things are going to really kill me, but they add a lot of complexity to the course of a day, right? You're trying to give your students 110%. You got students who sometimes have family emergencies or juggling school with work, and you're trying to give them 110%. Where am I going to charge my cell phone? Where am I going to eat? How am I going to make myself comfortable? It's 110 degrees out there, and I can't even bring my food in here. And it just adds a lot of complexity to the flow of the day, right? So I want you guys to pray that. I don't know why today I thought about that, but a chemistry spill of some sort, a contamination at the college campus to force something to happen, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.